Hi, I'm Denise Rousseau. I'm director of the leisure department at Uniglobe Travel Designers, and we're so happy to have Diane from Viking here. What we've been trying to do with these luncheons and have the hours that we're putting on is just to get people to dream about where they want to go when this whole business is over and travel safe again. So with that, I'm going to give it away to Diane, and I hope you guys have fun and learn a lot.
Thank you, Denise. So we have everyone in listen-only mode. So as Ali said, during the presentation, if you have any questions, there's a little drop-down question box and you can type them in there and we will address the questions at the end. So let's talk about Viking. I suspect that some of you may have already been on a Viking river or ocean cruise, and if you have, thank you for being a loyal past passenger. And we hope to welcome you again in the future because we have a lot of new and exciting things going on at Viking. But to start with, I thought we would do a lovely review of who we are at Viking and what we do. Talk a little bit about where we started in this industry, and that's on the rivers. And then talk about our second big project was launching Viking ocean vessels 5 years ago. And then we're going to talk about the most exciting new thing that's going on at Viking, which is Viking on the Mississippi River. So our company actually started in the summer of 1997 with 4 little river vessels that sailed on the Volga River in Russia between St. Petersburg and Moscow. And the company on the rivers just kind of exploded around 2012 when we introduced our Viking Longships. So that's a very specific kind of river vessel that Viking developed. And so now we are the largest river cruise company in the world with over 70,000 river vessels sailing on the rivers of Europe, Russia, and Asia. And as I mentioned, Viking Ocean started 5 years ago. We now have 5 ocean vessels sailing. It doesn't matter which product you sail on with us, whether it's river or ocean or Mississippi or Galapagos or Expedition. Our promise is the same. It's kind of a thread that runs through everything that we do at Viking. And that is that we don't try to be everything to everybody. We put that right out there up front. We don't allow anyone under 18 on board our vessels. We are an adults only cruise line. We are destination focused and culturally enriching. That means when you come away from your Viking experience, we want you to really feel like you've been there. You really know the places that you've seen, and you understand what goes on in those places. And we're very highly inclusive, and it is always our intention to hire the best staff in the industry. In fact, we have won numerous awards in the industry for our service alone, and we have a 97% staff retention rate. That means people come to work for us and they don't leave because we treat them really well, and that in turn translates into outstanding service for our guests as they're on board our ships. So right now, with what we're going through with the COVID-19 quarantine situation, you've probably heard and read that many of the cruise lines have laid off many thousands of people. Nobody is sailing right now. We hope that by July, September, we're not sure when we'll be able to get back in the water. But during this whole time when everyone's in quarantine, we have retained every single staff person, every single employee on the ships and on land. And that's a huge thing for the time when we get back into the waters. Our staff and crew, they're pretty happy right now because we're retaining them and taking care of them. And when we're ready to go again, they're going to be right by our side and your side, providing that outstanding service. We believe that enrichment is such a huge part of everything that we do. Every single cruise that you take with Viking, whichever place in the world, whether it's river or ocean or Mississippi, one shore excursion is included in every port of call. And then while you're on board the vessel, we'll have great programs in culture curriculum with informative lectures and wine tastings and local cuisine and port talks, as well as destination performances. Now, we take you to see all of the iconic things. Everybody wants to go and see Marksburg Castle along the Rhine, but we go beyond and behind the scenes, and we also provide ways for you to customize your journeys, again, whichever brand you're on with us. But on the rivers, we have this program called the Viking Way. And every one of our excursions, whether it's an included or an optional excursion, is going to fall into one of these categories, which is local life, working world, and privileged access. So on the rivers, with our local life programs, you'll have a chance to go and experience the beer culture in Cologne, Germany. You'll have an opportunity to take a dip in the thermal spas in Budapest. With our Working World program, before we take you to see the windmills at Kinderdijk, you'll be able to listen to a lecturer who comes on board to talk about the dikes and polders in the Netherlands. You can visit a cheese farm, do a winery tour in the Wachau Valley of Austria. You'll even have some great opportunities with our privileged access programs. I think this is where we really, really shine. For experience on the river, for example, on the rivers, you can go to the very tippy top of the Cologne Cathedral, and that's a Viking exclusive experience for a stunning view out over the Rhine River Valley. You'll also have an opportunity to go and hear the Vienna Boys Choir sing, or see the Lipizzaner Stallions perform, or enjoy a Mozart and Strauss concert. Our dining is destination focused as well. So if you're sailing with us in the south of France, you might enjoy coq au vin, French onion soup, and escargot on board the vessels. If we're sailing on the Danube, schnitzel and strudel. And if we're sailing on the Rhine, you probably have opportunities to enjoy some great German sausages and beer, all delivered to you with impeccable service. So with our Viking value, the price you pay up front for any one of our brands gives you just about everything you need, and then the ability to customize if you would like to. But what's included in the price you pay up front is one shore excursion in every port of call, all of your meals on board the vessels, with multiple dining venues. On our river ships, we have 2. On oceans, we have 8, and they're all included. The same with Mississippi, and so on. Beer, wine, and soft drinks are included, unlimited with lunch and dinner, as well as specialty coffees and teas and hot chocolates. Bottled water is included. It's refreshed in your stateroom every day, and it's plentiful when you're out on your tours. We offer complimentary Wi-Fi. If you decide to do a pre or post package with us, we're using first-class hotels. We have complimentary movies on demand in your stateroom, and then all of the port fees and taxes are included. So that's a great value. And you'll be traveling on the rivers with the most awarded river cruise line in the world. In fact, last week, we were just named again by an organization called Luxury Travel Advisor. They gave us their Award of Excellence, which is the top award you can receive in the industry. And they gave it to us for both Viking River as well as Viking Ocean cruises. So we've received that accolade in 2017, 18, 19, and 20. So I think you can travel with us with confidence. Now, we have a wide variety of river cruises throughout Europe, Russia, and Asia, but we certainly don't have enough time to talk about all of them today, and that's why we kind of lean on and depend upon our great partners at Uniglobe to help you decide what's going to be the right Viking journey for you. But this is our #1 most popular Viking journey. It's the Grand European Tour, which is 15 days, 14 nights, where you're traveling all the way from Amsterdam to Budapest. You'll visit 4 countries, and you will travel on the most storied and historic rivers throughout the heart of Europe, on the Rhine, the Main, and the Danube. So if you look at the map and we begin in Amsterdam, you're on the Rhine River from Amsterdam down to Koblenz. And then from Koblenz to Bamberg, you're on the Main River. Then you go through the Main-Danube Canal and you sail from Nuremberg down to Budapest on the Danube River. Now, right now, for 2021 and 2022, we're offering free air on our Grand European Tour. Of course, we want people to start traveling or dreaming about traveling again, but this is a fabulous offer. And the nice thing is, if you take Viking Air, the transfers are included. So you fly into Amsterdam, we pick you up at the airport and take you to the ship, and then you can journey on down with us all the way to Budapest. Now, in every one of those ports along the way, every place where you see a little dot with a name, there is an included excursion. So let's pretend we have flown to Amsterdam today. Wouldn't that have been a nice thing to do? And we have time to explore Amsterdam on our own. Some great sites to visit while in Amsterdam is the Rijksmuseum, where the Dutch masters are housed, the Van Gogh Museum, the Anne Frank House. There's a floating flower market, or you can take a leisurely canal cruise and enjoy Amsterdam from the water. The next day, we're off to Kinderdijk. These iconic windmills are about 500 years old, and this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's really fun and informative to go and see up close and in person those very iconic Dutch windmills. The next day, we're in Cologne, Germany, and our included tour will take you all through the interior of the magnificent Cologne Cathedral. And then you'll also have that option to go to the very tippy top and enjoy a stunning view over the Rhine River Valley. You also have the opportunity to take a pub crawl and check out the local beer culture in Cologne. In Koblenz, we visit the Marksburg Castle, which is the best preserved medieval castle along the Rhine. And then we spend time cruising through the Middle Rhine. This area of the Rhine is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and in 40 miles, you'll float past 40 castles up on the hillsides. This is the magic of the Rhine and what people love about it so much. Now, we've turned off the Rhine River and we are on the Main River, and our first stop is in Miltenberg. And I like this picture because it shows you one of our lovely little Viking Longships and how it just is able to pull up right to the heart of the old city center. And I apologize, there's a dog barking in the background. The joy and the sorrow of working from home. But anyway, that's one of our little Viking Longships that carries 190 passengers. You pull up right to the heart of the city center, and you can step off and feel like you're walking through centuries of history in just a matter of moments. We have a stop in Würzburg, Germany, and we'll visit the bishop's residence there. In here is the largest ceiling mural in the world. And then we're off to Bamberg, Germany. The entire little town of Bamberg is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's just a charming little fairy tale village. Now we've turned off of the Main. We've gone through the Main-Danube Canal. We are on the Danube River, and our first stop is in Nuremberg, where you will visit this beautiful old medieval Nuremberg Castle. From there, we visit Passau, Germany, and the Church of St. Stephen, where you will be treated to an organ concert from the second largest pipe organ in the world. Then we're off to my favorite spot along the Danube, which is Melk, and a visit to the Melk Abbey there. And then another day of scenic cruising through the Wachau Valley of Austria, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, just known for its physical beauty. There are little towns and villages all the way, and hillsides dotted with vineyards and farms. And then we have a long day in Vienna with our included city tour in the morning. And in the afternoon, you can take off and do your own thing. There are many fabulous museums in Vienna, as I'm sure many of you already know. This one that you're looking at is the Belvedere Museum, where many of the paintings of Gustav Klimt are housed. You may have heard of the painting, The Kiss. You will see it here at the Belvedere. You may want to go off and find yourself just sort of lollygagging in a coffee shop and having a soccer tort. or you can join us for an optional tour to Schönbrunn Palace. And then finally, we wind up in Budapest, where you'll visit Matthias Church, as well as the Fisherman's Bastion on the left-hand side. And if you would like, you can join the locals for a dip in one of the local thermal spas. You're overnight on board the ship in Budapest, and so you will enjoy some stunning views of the iconic Parliament building there. Now, our river ships, as I've already mentioned, we call them Viking Longships. We've had 20 years to design the perfect vessel, we believe, for just sailing right into the heart of the destination. As I mentioned, these vessels carry 190 passengers. They're 443 feet in length. We have no interior staterooms. In fact, we have seven veranda suites, 39 full-size veranda staterooms, and 22 staterooms with French balcony. Pardon me, please. The ships are light-filled and open, but we love al fresco dining at Viking, and so we have this unique feature on the bow of the vessel where we do serve a more casual buffet-style meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The main lobby area, the guest services area, as you can see, the style of the ships is very clean, very Scandinavian, very simple, clean, understated, and elegant, but very high-end materials, terrazzo tile floors, tongue and groove wood, and as you can see there, those walls are woven leather. But the interiors of the ship definitely reflect the heritage of this company, which is Norwegian. Our chairman, Torsten Hagen, is from Norway, so we really do enjoy that beautiful, simple aesthetic. And in the dining room, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day, you'll want to enjoy the beautiful views from your table, where you enjoy table service for your 3 beautiful meals. Here's the Viking Lounge. Again, lots of glass everywhere. And even when you go into your own little private sanctuary in the evening to go to bed, you'll have plenty of wide open windows so that you can enjoy the beautiful view. And we have no interior staterooms. We do have one stateroom, we call it a river view room, that has kind of a picture window in it. But really nothing compares to those big, wide open sliding glass doors. Beautiful bathrooms with glass enclosed walk-in showers and heated tile floors. Here's a picture of our veranda suite. Now, we only allow 2 people per stateroom, no matter what size the stateroom is. So this is just kind of the lap of luxury for 2 people. Many voyages of discovery on the rivers all throughout Europe, Russia, Asia, and Egypt, and we will be back in the waters hopefully before too much longer. And when you're ready to book a Viking river cruise, make sure you contact your consultants at Uniglobe Travel. As I mentioned earlier, Viking Oceans was launched 5 years ago in May of 2015, and every year in a row, we have been named the world's best by Travel and Leisure magazine, which I'm sure you've heard of. So we're pretty proud of that. The reason I think that Viking stands apart on the oceans is all of the things that we don't do compared to our competitors with those large vessels. We have no casinos, no children under 18, no umbrella drinks, no photographers, no art auctions, no formal nights, no smoking, no charge for beer and wine with lunch and dinner. No charge for the specialty restaurants. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, we have 8 dining choices. They're all included. No lines, no inside staterooms. In fact, every single stateroom has its own private veranda. Complimentary Wi-Fi, free reign to use the laundry, and no fees to get into the spa area. Our customers are people that like to travel to explore and learn and understand before they go. And we have an included excursion in every port of call, just like we do on the rivers. And then we also have a greater selection of options if you want to immerse yourself even deeper into the local life working world and privileged access of the destinations where we're traveling in the world. You can do a home-hosted visit in Stavanger, Norway, do a beer tour, chocolate workshop. We have a privileged access excursion, a tour that goes behind the scenes at the Hermitage, and that means after the museum closes, we can take you in there so that you can avoid the crowds. Many, many, many awards over these last short 5 years. And as I've mentioned already, just last week, we were given an award of excellence by Luxury Travel Advisor for both Viking River and Viking Ocean. This is 17, 18, 19, and 20, 4 years in a row. We focus on the history and the culture and the arts and the foods of the destinations where we're traveling. So we'll have a great lecture series on board the vessel while you're sailing if you'd like to learn more about the must-have historical information of where you're traveling in the world. We will choose the most iconic performance art of the destination and bring that on board the vessel for your enjoyment. And then all of these dining choices are included. We have the main restaurant. Manfredi's is an Italian grill, a Norwegian-style deli, the Winter Garden where we serve high tea in the afternoon, the chef's table, which is food and wine pairing, the World Cafe, which is our buffet, and then we also have a great pool grill and 24-hour room service. We have 6 Viking Ocean vessels sailing around the world right now, and these vessels come in at 47,800 tons, carry 930 passengers, and every single stateroom has its own private veranda. Just wanted to share a couple of pictures of the interior of these vessels because they are so special and stunning. Again, simple, understated, elegant. The living room is our atrium. We want you to feel like you're coming home. We have a beautiful explorer's lounge all the way forward, just intended for you to enjoy the spectacular views. We offer the first infinity pool at sea. And again, here's a picture of that Manfredi's Italian restaurant, a little closer in picture. It's one of our specialty dining venues and there's no charge for it. We have award-winning, we've just won all kinds of accolades for our dining, and that also includes our chef's table, which is a specialty dining venue that offers a food and wine pairing kind of meal. And then Mamsen's, where we have lovely little Norwegian-style delicacies like waffles with brown cheese and Norwegian fish soup and open fish sandwiches. It's just a lovely little place to get a light bite to eat. All veranda staterooms, as I've mentioned, and I know that your travel agents at Uniglobe will be happy to help you decide which is the right one for you. Our staterooms range in size from 270 square feet to over 1,445 square feet. And again, remember, only 2 people per stateroom. Our most popular Viking Ocean cruise is the Viking Homelands, which is a 15-day, 14-night cruise that travels from Bergen up into the Baltics and St. Petersburg, and then back to Stockholm, with overnights on board the ship in Bergen, St. Petersburg, as well as in Stockholm. Way too many Viking Ocean itinerary choices to share with you this afternoon. But again, I encourage you to talk with your travel agents there at Uniglobe. And also you may want to go onto our website. We do have a new and exciting feature online that you can access. It's just viking.tv. If you just type viking.tv into your URL, you will find an enormous wealth of information and content to really kind of give you something fun and interesting to do while we're sitting at home waiting to travel, but also to find out more about many of these wonderful destinations where we're traveling around the world. And when I say traveling around the world, I mean it, because we're not just doing river and ocean cruises anymore. Viking has created and launched during this crazy Corona time journeys to the ends of the earth and closer to home. And so in 2022, we are going to begin cruising on the Mississippi. We are building a vessel. She will be called the Viking Mississippi, and she will be doing cruises all the way from St. Paul, Minnesota, down to New Orleans. Now these cruises, there are 4 different itineraries at the moment that we're offering. We are booking them now for 2022 as well as 2023, if you can believe that. But we're planning ahead at Viking, and we know that people are going to be ready to travel as soon as we get the all clear to go. So the Heart of the Delta is a one-way cruise from New Orleans to Memphis. There are 5 ports of call and 5 guided tours included. The Southern Celebration is a round-trip New Orleans cruise. I really like this one because it provides an overnight on board the vessel in New Orleans, 6 ports of call, and 6 guided tours. And then America's Heartland is a cruise of the more northern portion of the river from St. Louis to St. Paul. And then America's Great River, we travel all the way, the 2,000 miles from St. Paul to New Orleans in 15 days with 11 ports and 11 guided tours. Now, I'm going to kind of blow your minds here for a little bit. 2022 is sold out on the 15-day America's Great River, but it's open and available to sell and purchase for 2023. So there's a map, and you can see from St. Paul all the way down to New Orleans. That's the cruise that we're calling America's Great River. America's Heartland is the cruise where you travel from St. Paul down to St. Louis. The Heart of the Delta, I think, is a great cruise between Memphis and New Orleans, and then Southern Celebration is the cruise that we're doing round trip out of New Orleans. So let's look at these destinations just a little more closely, where you'll be visiting along the great mighty Mississippi from St. Paul to New Orleans and in between. So if we begin in St. Paul, we have an overnight there on board the ship. The next day we're in Red Wing, Minnesota, where we'll visit the National Eagle Center and enjoy a panoramic tour. There's some great outdoor activities available in Red Wing, Minnesota, such as hiking and kayaking and biking and canoeing. Lots of opportunities for wine tastings and beer tastings. In La Crosse, Wisconsin, we'll have a chance to visit the Vesterheim Norwegian Museum, which tells the story of the Norwegian immigrant experience. From Dubuque, Iowa, we'll visit the National Mississippi River Museum, and also a chance to visit Taliesin, which was Frank Lloyd Wright's architectural achievement in this area in Dubuque. It was completed in 1911, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places. We'll visit the John Deere Pavilion and learn how John Deere revolutionized farming in America. And then Burlington, Iowa, this little town is known for its incredible architecture, beautiful small old town with many numerous historic buildings. But what it's really most known for is Snake Alley, which is the world's crookedest street. We'll visit Hannibal, Missouri, walk in the footsteps of Huck and Tom, and visit the birthplace of Mark Twain. And we'll have a stop to visit the Gateway to the West, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. In St. Louis, there's also an opportunity to go to the Anheuser-Busch Brewery or to visit the National Blues Museum. We spend time cruising through the lower Mississippi, and then a nice day in Memphis where we'll visit Graceland. That's the included tour. There's also an option for the National Civil Rights Museum. Another day of scenic cruising, and then a stop in Vicksburg to visit the Civil War Battlefield Park there. In Natchez, we have a chance to visit the beautiful antebellum homes there And then in Baton Rouge, we visit the Rural Life Museum to find out about Cajun culture before we wind up in New Orleans. And we do offer extension packages if you'd like to spend a little extra time in that crazy city. The Viking Mississippi is a ship that will carry 386 passengers in 193 staterooms. And she's a humdinger, but she doesn't look anything like our competitors' vessels in this market. We will not have a paddle wheeler. You will not see staff and crew dressed up in pantaloons with bows. You'll probably hear some banjo music because that stuff is pretty cool. Our aesthetic, like I said, is a thread that runs from our river to our ocean to our Mississippi vessel. Simple, clean, understated, elegant, high-end materials. But we are not forgetting where we are, because on that wall on the main staircase is verse from Tom Sawyer. Main dining room. Here's the living room. We had the living room on the Viking Ocean vessels. We have a beautiful river cafe for more casual dining. We also have the Aqua V Terrace, where we're going to be serving barbecue. And if we're in Memphis, it'll be Memphis barbecue. If we're in St. Louis, it'll be St. Louis barbecue. Beautiful alfresco dining. That's what Viking is known for. We have a great explorer's lounge, which you saw on the ocean vessel. And instead of a paddle wheel, we are going to provide you with this incredible infinity plunge pool. Again, lovely spaces, and even lovelier spaces when you're ready to crash for the night. And look at those massive big windows to enjoy the beautiful views floating by. Our penthouse junior suite is 400 square feet, and please remember, every single stateroom will only accommodate 2 passengers. So that's Viking Mississippi. That was closer to home. We're also venturing to the ends of the earth. We have introduced Viking expeditions. We will be doing cruises to the Arctic and the Antarctic beginning in 2022. We are building 2 new vessels for the expedition market, the Viking Octantis and the Viking Polaris, and those are pretty exciting vessels that are being purpose-built to cut through the ice in these areas. We'll carry 378 passengers and 260 crew on these vessels that will come in at 30,150 gross tons. Beautiful spaces, just, you know, the difference between expedition and river and ocean and Mississippi is that there are no castles or cathedrals to enjoy in these parts of the world. This is all about the magnificent scenery and learning about the critters and the birds and the whales and the seals that occupy these far reaches of the globe. But the ship itself, when you're not out exploring, will provide stunning spaces for you to relax and energize for the daytime, when you will be playing on our Pro Zodiacs and kayaking. We'll even offer 2 6-seater submersibles, so you'll have that experience, and 2 12-seater convertible rib boats. Every single excursion on expedition is included, so everybody will have an opportunity to enjoy these fun toys. And when you're ready to crash at night, beautiful staterooms. Fantastic dining, of course. We'll have Manfredi's, our Italian grill, and this is just one of the itineraries that we'll be offering in the Antarctic. This is the Antarctic Explorer, where you will fly to Buenos Aires, spend an overnight in a hotel, then we fly you down to Ushuaia, the southernmost point in the South African continent, and from there you'll board your expeditionary vessel across the Drake Passage, down to the Antarctic Peninsula. We will spend several days playing around and exploring, and then back up to do a cruise around Cape Horn and then wind up in Ushuaia again. On the other side of the globe, our Arctic adventure takes off from Tromsø, Norway, and cruises up to an area of Norway called Svalbard. You'll spend several days exploring around there. We do have a journey to the polar ice cap, back to Svalbard, and then back to Tromsø. And finally, wow, those Viking expeditionary ships will be sailing in the expedition market January through March in the Antarctic and July to September in the Arctic. So in between, we will be sailing our extraordinary expedition vessels on the Great Lakes. So Niagara and the Great Lakes begins in Toronto. We'll sail through the Welland Canal, visit Niagara Falls, into Lake Erie, Lake Huron, Mackinac Island, and then Milwaukee. From Milwaukee up to Thunder Bay, and then from Thunder Bay back through the Sioux Locks, Mackinac Island, and then Milwaukee. On our expeditionary vessels, we will have partnerships with the Scott Polar Research Institute, the University of Cambridge, as well as the Cornell Lab of Ornithology and NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. And there's more. This is all I'm going to share with you about the Galapagos, but I did want to let you know, I apologize, I did want to let you know that we are going to the Galapagos beginning at the end of 2021 with great products from Viking. And again, you can go on our website if you're interested in that and find out more about our Galapagos product. But I can tell you that it will include a land portion. Every journey to the islands includes about a 1-week land portion where you go to Cusco, the Sacred Valley, to Machu Picchu, and then up to Guayaquil, where we fly you over to Baltra Island. From there you board your Galapagos vessel and spend several days cruising around the islands and exploring there. So now Viking will be sailing in all 7 continents, 95 countries, including 403 ports of call, all 5 oceans, 20 rivers, and 5 Great Lakes. So you might be a little hesitant to book a cruise for 2021 or 2022 or 2023. But I did want to let you know that right now we have our risk-free guarantee in place. And that means any cruise you book now through the 31st of May, you'll fall into this lovely little risk-free guarantee where you will be able to change your cruise up until 24 hours of departure, and all cancellation fees will be waived. Again, talk to your Uniglobe Travel Designers about all of these great things we discussed today: rivers, oceans, Mississippi expeditions, and even Galapagos. So there is the email if you want to grab a pen and a piece of paper and write down let's go at uniglobetd.com, or you can call them at 614-237-4488, or you can access their website. I don't see any questions that have come in, so I'm going to turn the microphone back over. Allie, do you want to unmute yourself?
There you go.
There you go. Yes, so Denise and Allie, it's yours, and I want to thank you all for joining us today. It's really been a pleasure to share with you. I hope this has given you something to dream about and think about and plan and hope for. We hope to welcome you on Viking before too much longer. Thank you, ladies. It's all yours.
Thanks,
you,
Diane. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you learned a lot about Viking and are excited about their new products. I know we are. Like Diane said, this is also, I think, going to be recorded. Allie will load it onto YouTube if you know someone else that might be interested. they can check it out. And also, if you get on our Facebook page, we have some other upcoming events too. So we hope you join us for some of those. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day, and please keep well. Most important thing, keep well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.